Before we start the show, I want to play the audio of when I was talking to the brother R. Kelly.
When Corey Holcomb platformed R. Kelly, it wasn't just an interview.
And I want him to get a chance to say what he has to say.
This type of alignment sends one message, and that's whether you mean it or not. Now let's be clear. R. Kelly is a convicted pedophile. It's not rumor, it's not internet gossip, it's a documented court outcome. So when somebody voluntarily creates space for that voice, the question is, what does that communicate? So listen closely, every word, every tone, because the way they phrase things tells you something about the people talking. So this isn't just an interview, it's public alignment. And alignment sends a message. Check it out.
Most of the response from me talking to R. Kelly was positive, but a couple of people who don't know all the information need to hear what I feel like the brother had to say. Check it out. Sharon Winbush and my man Gorgeous Dre, thank y'all for helping me connect with the brother and making this information happen. We're going to play the video. I just want y'all to listen to what R. Kelly has to say because there's information he wants the public to know about this scandalous-ass law they got that, if you ask me, you can lock anybody up for anything with this law. But anyway, go on here, play the audio. I'll be back with the crew. Mark.
In my high-profile federal case, repeatedly contacting these people, witness tampering, interference in my federal trial, which influenced the outcome of my trial. Do we ignore that? Do we just ignore the fact that back in February 2020, before I had ever gone to trial, Special Agent Matlock with the Department of Justice of the Inspector General executed that search warrant on the BOP Officer A desktop computer and saw that Officer A had illegally accessed my sensitive federal restricted law enforcement information 153 times. This is all according to the search warrant. She did it during the course of 6 months. The BOP Officer A had ripped away the corner of each page that would have contained the date and times that my jail records had been accessed by her. Then she illegally scanned 12 pages off of the BOP's computer and sent my jail records to her own personal Gmail account. This is all in the search warrant. It's not something I'm making up. Special Agent Matt Lou, who executed the search warrant on Officer A computer, Agent Locke also stated in the search warrant that a warning banner appears on all BOP electronic devices, meaning all of the BOP computers. Whenever a BOP employee or disciplinary hearing officer, whoever turns their computer on, a warning banner, and that banner states, quote, user should have no expectation of privacy as to any communication on or information
This call is from a federal prison.
stored within the system. They should have no expectation. The system, including information stored on the network, emphasis added. Now, do we ignore the fact that a federal BOP disciplinary hearing officer A ignored that banner? Do we ignore the fact that she ignored the banner? Officer A broke federal law as soon as she decided that she was going to not only have expectations of me and my private, hold on a second. She broke the law when she decided to not only have expectations of me public what they did. Tell them what they need to know. Tell them about what this officer did to me in my case. Tell them how she robbed me of my constitutional rights. I want the media to tell how she robbed me of an unfair chance at my trial. Tell the public how Officer A jeopardized my freedom and my life by doing what she did to me. Stealing my information, sharing it with government witnesses, causing the outcome of my trial. Causing the outcome of how the rest of my life looks. Tell the public that. And then let them decide. Anything less is censorship. Oh God, I just wanted to read that, man.
I'm glad you got it off, brother. Everybody I know gonna know this.
This is real, man. I would not be on the phone while I'm in the BOP, being held by the BOP, and talking about the BOP lying on the BOP. Trust me, I wouldn't do that. Not only that, this phone would have been cut off if I had told one lie.
That's real. Amen.
And I've done at least 19 interviews and said these things on this BOP phone. And none of my calls were cut off because they know it to be true. I'm not going up against the whole BOP. I'm talking about this one BOP officer A who did what she did. All cops are not bad, bro. All BOP officers are not bad. All government is not bad. I'm only concerned about what happened in my trial because I know my story. My girl in 2019 came to my visit who I've been with almost 5 years, living with her and another girl. They were of age. And when one girl came to me snapping on me in my visit the last time I saw her, she wanted to know since when did I start calling my girl Cookie, my other girl. I'm like, why are you tripping? We all lived together for so long, but I was also trying to figure out how the hell did she know I called her Cookie? So she was like, don't fucking lie to me because I know I saw the email. So I'm like, what? And I also saw the email that I also heard you on the phone telling your lawyer you're not going to leave her for me. I'm like, how the hell did she know all of this back in 2019 when I was first, when 6 months after I was arrested? I didn't understand. Then she left very mad. And I hadn't seen her since. She went, ended up testifying against me. And I don't find out until 3 weeks before my verdict. 3 weeks before my verdict that the prosecutors came and told my lawyers that somebody had leaked some of my information. But they played it down. They didn't even say what it really was. Well, now I have a search warrant, and I just ran a lot of stuff off of that search warrant. And that's why they didn't tell us, because it would have stopped the trial. If a jury knew about that, if anybody that had sense knew about that, my trial would have went a whole other way. If you don't mind, man, I'm going to have to hang up because it's going to hang up on me and I can call you back in like another hour.
I bet.
Thank you so much, man.
Brother, I know you. I respect you, man. Hey, my people will know this.
All right, brother.
Respect.
Thanks, Corey.
All right. Damn, that's cold blood. I don't want to do this. Let me see. What they say?
This call is from a federal prison. You will not be charged for this call. This call is from...
Dr. Kelly.
This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. To accept this call, press 5. To block, you may begin speaking now.
Hello?
How you doing, man?
What's up, brother? Finally caught you, man. I don't know why I kept missing.
I know, man. It's tricky. You know what I'm saying? I'm in here, so you know how that go.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear from you, brother. And I was talking to Dre, and Dre told me a lot about what was happening, man. And, you know, I do my 5150 Show podcast. And I wanna try to put some information out there so a lot of people can know as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got like, I be having like 10 to 11 precious minutes, man. And I wrote something so I don't be scrambling. You know, if you want to get, I'll read it to you.
Let's go, Rob. Let's go.
Let's go, Rob. Let's
I
go.
appreciate it. Bear with me, man. I'm a terrible writer and terrible speller, but I'm reading my own writing, so bear with me.
Okay, brother. It's all good.
Okay, first of all, my attorney and I have a search warrant that was executed on a federal DOP disciplinary hearing officer. And for those that don't know it, a federal disciplinary hearing officer is like a judge in the Bureau of Prisons.
Okay.
They identify her as Officer A. The search warrant case number is 20M148. The date and time that the search warrant was issued was February 27, 2020, before I had ever gone to trial, at 12:40 p.m. City, State, Chicago, Illinois. The search warrant was signed off by a federal U.S. magistrate judge whose name is David M. Wiseman. And the search warrant on the DOP Officer A was executed by Federal Special Agent Matt Blue, MATTLOUX. He's with the Department of Justice of the Inspector General. That's the OIG. Let's just call it for what it is and stop pretending. The law broke the law. DOP Officer A broke the law by passing my confidential jail records unauthorized to a blogger named Tasha K. Tasha K broke the law by sending all of my jail records to a star witness in my high-profile federal case, repeatedly contacting these people, witness tampering, interference in my federal trial.
Call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. To accept this call, press 5. To block this call and all future calls, press. You may begin speaking now.
Of course.
Brother Rob.
It's all right to finish, bro.
Oh, yeah. It's all good, man. Give it to me. I want you to get it out.
You don't want to find out the hard way. Listen to the song where the record plays. When a woman, mama told me a long time ago, it ain't nothing you can do about it. I'm just making sure that's my voice, bro. Making sure you know that's my voice.
That's your voice.
There are a lot of games out there. Yeah, no, that ain't him talking. That ain't him. Yeah. But anyway.
No, that's your voice, man. That's that voice everybody has grown to love, man. I mean, I don't even know if you remember me from at the basketball court at the Y on 63rd and different things.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Trust me, I do.
It's me, bro. It's me, bro. I hope that we find a way to make some shit happen in this thing.
How we in all of them.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's what's up. Oh, yeah.
I got you, trust me.
Yeah.
I'm just in a kicking I'm in a casket right now, buried alive, kicking, that's all.
Oh, man, I really believe you're going to get up out that motherfucker soon. It's a test of your patience right now. But, brother, this information, most people don't know this. So it's good you giving it to us.
Okay, cool. Well, here I go. Okay. Bear with me. Tasha K, who has publicly stated on all of her YouTube platforms that she shared my at the time, who after seeing that restricted information became very, very angry with me, to the point she came to the visit at the MCC in Chicago where I was being detained. And at that visit, she did nothing but curse me out, telling me about things I had said to my other girlfriend, things I had told my other girlfriend and my attorney, of which neither of those things she should have known about, because I was only talking to my other girlfriend on the BOP's phone. And I only talked to my lawyers on the BOP's phone. So how could she have known about not only my conversations with my other girlfriend, but also with my attorneys? How could she have known? She would repeat exactly what I said on the emails to my other girlfriend. And she was very upset that I had given my other girlfriend a nickname, which was Cookie. Which, by the way, they talk about that in the search warrant, where I call my other girlfriend Cookie. It's in the search warrant. And she yelled at me, saying, I know you call her Cookie. Don't fucking lie to me. I saw the emails. And she was right. I did give my other girlfriend that nickname, Cookie. But how did she know? Who showed her my emails? Then she went on yelling out things like, I also heard you telling your attorney that you was not going to leave her for me. In which was right again. Because I did talk to my attorney and tell him that and more. Then she yelled out and said, don't fucking lie to me, because I heard you talking on the phone. I know your fucking voice. And when she said that to me, I was dumbfounded, trying to figure out how the hell she knew these things. She started calling me liars and all kind of names, telling me to get rid of my other girlfriend. And if I didn't, then she was going to leave and do what she had to do. And I told her I was not going to leave my other girlfriend. But if either of them wanted to leave, then I would respect that and honor that. And that wasn't the answer she wanted to hear. In fact, it only made her angrier. And when she saw that yelling and cursing me out and threatening me was not going to change my mind, she told me I had done. She told me I had no idea what I had done. And after that, she left the visit. That was the last time I had seen her. But I know without a doubt that when she left that visit, she was furious and scorned by whatever emails she had seen between me and my other girlfriend, phone calls between me and my attorneys, obviously. And on top of all of that, I had told her I was not leaving my other girlfriend for her, even after she had threatened me. This incident took place in 2019. So when I went to trial in New York in 2021, the same girlfriend that had come to see me at the visit in 2019, who is now my ex-girlfriend, had become the government's star witness testifying against me in that New York trial. And she definitely lived up to...
This call is from a federal prison.
And she definitely lived up to the name star witness. The reason I say that is because every bit of anger, every bit of jealousy and hatred that I saw in her eyes at that visit back in 2019 was the same anger, jealousy, and hatred that I saw in her eyes when she was on the witness stand, except it had grown and now looked like a woman that was truly scorned, seeking revenge, and had the whole government backing her up. Well, now I have obtained a search warrant that was executed on the BOP disciplinary hearing officer A, who the government continues after 4 years calls her Officer A. The search warrant on Officer A was executed back in February 2020 before I had ever gone to trial. The search warrant shows that the BOP officer had illegally accessed my federal law enforcement information 153 times within a 6-month period, which means for 6 months she was doing this. The search warrant shows the BOP officer A had illegally scanned 12 pages of my federal restricted law enforcement information and sent it to her own personal Gmail account. The search warrant also shows that the BOP officer A had illegally shared my private restricted law enforcement information with a famous and very influential blogger by the name of Tasha K. The search warrant shows that Tasha K had illegally received all of my federal restricted law enforcement information from the BOP officer A. And the search warrant also shows that Tasha K illegally shared my private information while having glasses of wine with the entire world, including people who were illegally influenced by that federal restricted law enforcement information, becoming a government star witness against me in my case. If all this was in the search warrant, which was executed on February 2020, then this means that the government knew about BOP Officer A and the blogger Tasha K before I had ever gone to trial. So if this is the case, if the government was knowledgeable about all these crimes being committed against me, all of my federal law enforcement information being stolen, shared by BOP Officer A, blogger Tasha K, government witnesses being tampered with, why did the trial continue on without a full investigation being done? Why weren't there any charges brought against BOP Officer A and Tasha K? These were federal charges. These were federal crimes being committed.
Yeah.
When the government was well aware of it, there is a search warrant that confirms their knowledge of these crimes. This officer is not a kid and knew exactly what she was doing when she gave all of my federal restricted phone calls and emails to the blogger Tasha K prior to my trial.
This call is from a federal prison.
The officer was well aware of the possibilities of what giving all of my federal information to a blogger could do to me and my case. Officer A knew that it could hurt my case, in which it did. This is not just some DOP employee or some security guard we're talking about, but this is a judge in the Bureau of Prisons who committed these federal crimes against me. There is a professional code of ethics that these people are supposed to follow, that they are trained to follow. And they took an oath promising you, me, and the public that they would follow that code of ethics. Because that code of ethics represents what integrity, honesty, law, and justice are supposed to look like. It's supposed to represent what our Constitution, our due rights, and our equal rights are supposed to look like. Which is why this disciplinary hearing officer A and what she did is problematic. She showed no integrity, no honesty, no kind of respect for that code of ethics. She showed no respect for her job, her colleagues, the law, or our judicial system. When she decided to break those laws just Some say, well, he had his day in court. He was found guilty by a jury of his peers. Well, here's the problem with that. The jury they knew absolutely nothing about a federal BOP disciplinary hearing officer stealing and scanning, sharing all of my restricted jail records by recording phone calls with a YouTube blogger who was sharing those jail records with government witnesses in the very same trial that jury was sitting in. And I know that there are people out there that may not like me or believe everything they hear about me. It's okay, because you are entitled to your opinions of me, R. Kelly, and I respect that. But my constitutional rights, they're supposed to look just like your constitutional rights. My due process, R. Kelly's due process, is supposed to look just like your due process. There should not be a celebrity's version of the Constitution or due process. My freedom is not a celebrity. My freedom is not a color. It is not a price tag or some prosecutor's trophy. But my freedom, it lies in the midst of the investigation of this BOP officer who stole my records, who stole my recorded phone calls and shared them illegally. That's why I want everybody to write to the Department of Justice. 950 Pennsylvania Avenue, NW, Washington, D.C., 20530. And I gave you guys the number to the search warrant. You can look it up yourself. It's public knowledge. It was sealed at first. Now it's unsealed. I got 30 seconds.
Hey, brother, when I tell my people about this, they're going to write, because nobody likes the way the system is playing you and anybody else by creating crooked laws inside of the alleged good law. So, brother, it's all good. I'll talk to you soon, Kels. I'm always open for you.
Make sure they send you the email so that way, if I ain't got minutes, I can at least email you.
Okay, bet.
All right, boy.
All right, brother. Respect.
Internet already had a narrative. People already questioned his judgment. People already questioned his boundaries. But when there's video proof of supported language towards R. Kelly, it doesn't create a new narrative. It stamps the old one, fair or unfair. That's how perception works. Reputation is built by patterns. We all know the type of pattern this nigga got. And this isn't about cancel culture. It's about moral clarity. If somebody has been convicted of exploiting minors, you don't casually align or casually defend or casually minimize. You draw distance, clearly and without confusion. Something he does not understand, right? Something everybody right now, once fans are popping up, making videos, people, niggas like me, shitting on you because you deserve to get shit on. And we know we can. You ain't gonna do nothing about it. That's the other part about it. Here's something about the internet. You will get judged for what you say and who you stand beside. That's just the truth. And in cases involving minors, the margin for error is 0. Because even perceived tolerance might be too much. I'd love to say this isn't about hatred, but it is. Anything you don't hate, you will tolerate. And I believe that to be true for protecting the innocent. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's something that he doesn't understand. Not now, not yesterday, not a year ago, not 2 years, 3 years ago when he was aligning himself with R. Kelly. The nigga don't get it. And unfortunately, I'm not watching all of his content. All of us on the internet are not watching all this nigga content, right? So we're just finding out about all this shit. This is about hatred, right? It's also about standards, right? It's about standards. I would think that Corey would understand that having a brand that's about authenticity or about saying things that other people won't, right? Then you should also understand that that alignment is a statement. And when the alignment involves someone convicted of harming children, you don't get the benefit of the doubt. You get the scrutiny. And maybe that scrutiny isn't comfortable, but that's some shit you got to deal with.
We are following breaking news. A verdict has been reached in the R. Kelly federal child porn trial.
Nate Rogers live for us with the very latest. Nate, what do we know?
Our investigative producers.
Yeah, that's right, Corey and Dawn. We're just now hearing from Kelly's defense attorney in all this, saying that her client is relieved. This after that verdict came down around 4 o'clock this afternoon. The disgraced R&B singer found guilty on 6 of the charges, 6 of 13 of the charges. The other 7, Kelly being acquitted on those charges. Most importantly, the charge that he was acquitted on, the obstruction of justice charges from 2002. That case, the infamous case in 2002. In this current case, prosecutors allege that Kelly had paid many of his accusers' family members money, even offering them lavish vacations, so they would not comment on the case, comment on the sex tapes that were shown in court during this trial. Also, Kelly's former associates, 2 guys, those guys being found acquitted of the charges that they face as well. 11 hours of deliberation in all of this. There were 3 questions today that the jury asked the judge prior to those, prior to the verdict coming down today. One of those questions, jurors asked if they had to find Kelly guilty of coercing sex acts or some of the other charges. And so we also, as I just mentioned at the top of this, just heard from Kelly's defense attorney. Take a listen to what she mentioned to us, again, within the last 5 minutes.
Celebrating a win entirely, but we are happy that the jury really did look at each count, and as I said in my closing arguments, each count counts. They did their job, and we ended up with 7 not guilty counts in a 13 count, right? 7?
Yeah.
7 not guilty counts in a 13 count indictment. So.
Yes.
That was Kelly's defense attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, also saying that they were charged with counts that they could not win. Now, this again, just a very disturbing case for many of the witnesses who were here inside of the courtroom for this trial. We're waiting to hear from some of them on their reaction. We do understand, according to Kelly's lawyers, that Kelly may speak in court at sentencing. That is the latest here at the Dirksen Federal Courthouse. Nate Rogers, Fox 32, Chicago.